So my name's John Baxter. I'm an associate professor. I wasn't until last year, and then the university restructured. Before that, I was just a lecturer, so I didn't get promoted. It's just what happened to me. But PebblePad have also managed to find a picture of me when I could see as well, so that's quite nice for them to find something from 10 years ago. So I'm a paramedic by background, and I'm the programme lead for the Paramedic Science degree at Huddersfield. I live in Huddersfield, but I work at Bradford, as you can see there. I was asked to bring a student down with me, and I have brought a student down. Claire's sitting down here, and she's going to maybe answer some questions in a bit, but it's fair to say I think I missold this event to Claire today as to what was really expected of her from what's going to go on, so we'll see. I have been here before to Mini Bash. 3 years ago, I parked in the world's most expensive car park over the road. If any of you are in there, we'll see you with the vehicle clamps afterwards. I parked in that car park. I came down here and I said, I've come to Mini Bash. And they said, do you want to come and have a look round? And I said, yeah, that's all right. That's very kind of you. So they showed me upstairs, a big empty room. And she says, are you with PebblePad? And I said, no, I'm from Bradford. And she said, you know it's next week, don't you? So, although I've been here before, I've never been to Mini Bash before. So things are going a lot better today so far, but technology could let me down. Although the car park's even more expensive now. So from that. So this is the title of my assessment, the thing I'm going to talk about today, about authentic assessment. Looks a bit of a boring title, and it's some... Anytime you mention regulation, it puts people to sleep, and obviously you're due your lunch in a minute, so I'll try to race through it and not do that to you. Now, I'm the programme leader of it's a sandwich degree at Bradford for the paramedic course. It's a 4-year degree, and in the 3rd year the students work on frontline ambulances, so they're employed by Yorkshire Ambulance Service. It's the only one in the country, and it's been really successful because the students have come out of the course really, really ready for work because, hey-ho, they've already worked for a year and part of that, so that's part of it. So a lot of the assessment we do because of that is authentic in our programme, and we use lots and lots of different types of assessment that we'll look up there, that you can see up there. I did have some slides on what authentic assessment is, but I took them out because I thought people before would talk about that, but it's not really been mentioned that much today as to what it actually implies that it is. But from our point of view, what we try and do is give the student tasks that they'll be doing when they're working on ambulances, or give them students assessments that they'll be doing when they graduate. And we use PebblePad quite a lot to be able to do that. And these are all the different assessments we use within our course. The ones with the little PebblePad logo are the ones we use PebblePad for all the time. So all paramedic courses in the country, a bit like Simon was talking about the GMC stuff, there's lots and lots of competencies that have to be done. So we use PebblePad for that. We also use PebblePad in the team-based learning part of the curriculum, and we use that for all the pre-study that students have to do before they come and do TBL for those that have used that flipped approach. What I'm going to talk about today is how we use it in the sandwich year, and the students compile a continuing professional development, a CPD profile in sandwich year, and that's what we're going to look about here. But when I was asked to come and do this, I thought I'd ask the students really what they considered. I gave them a spiel about what authentic assessment is that you've not had to listen through, so you'll be glad for that. But I asked them what they thought were the authentic assessments within our programme from that, and these are the ones that they thought were authentic. And you can see that 3 of the things we use PebblePad for, the 3 things we use are the students did consider it as to be an authentic method of assessment for them. And our students, when they graduate, they have to register with the Health and Care Professions Council, the HCPC. So the HCPC sets different standards. This is the regulation part of it, so just have a minute while I talk through this. So they set different standards. So the first one, standards for conduct, performance and ethics. So basically how the students perform and that they're not naughty boys and girls when they become paramedics, which is obviously a big issue, and that's the biggest issue the HCPC have with all their registrants. The next one, standards of proficiency. These are the competencies: being able to cannulate somebody, being able to manage somebody's airway, being able to communicate with people, things like that. The standards of education and training that I have to adhere to be able to deliver the programme as a programme lead, and then the standards of continuing professional development. And all paramedics and anyone who's registered with the HCPC are supposed to, I use the word supposed to, keep a portfolio of all the continuing professional development they do. And every 2 years the HCPC will ask to see a proportion of those portfolios, but it's a minuscule portion, so most paramedics get away with it and you don't have to do it. But it's obviously good practice for anybody to do it, and that's what we want our students to go out there and do when they graduate. So these are the standards for continuing professional development. So you see there are 5 standards there that they have to maintain their CPD through the year, that they have to make sure it's a mix of different activities, so it can't all be reflection, or it can't all be going to fantastic conferences in Birmingham, paying for parking. It has to make them a better clinician, so a better, or a better paramedic, I'd say, because it's not necessarily about clinical practice. It has to show that what they do benefits the service user. So for most of our students, that'll be patients that they go for in ambulances. But my service users are not patients, they're our students. So when I do CPD for me can be about improving my pedagogy or something like that. And then upon request, they have to be able to show a written profile to show what they've done every 2 years from that point of view. Now, we support the students to be able to do this through the VLE, which we use Canvas for that. We support them through PebblePad, and we support them by signposting them to the HCPC to tell them exactly what they need to do to be able to do that. So, I'm going to click on this, and with a bit of luck, it will pop up. Okay, so this is my portfolio, and because I'm a bit brave or idiotic, however you want to say it, this is actually my live portfolio. So I'm sharing this with you all now, and I share it with the students every year. So all the students who've gone through our sandwich degree see my portfolio, and I've just had a look at some of the other things that come up. So I was going to say it's modelling best practice, but I'm not sure, having just seen those other portfolios on here. So we have these 2-year assessment cycle periods, so you can see 2017-19 onwards, and the one this year I've just been sent my renewal this year, so in the next month or two, next month the HCPC, it might ask to see this, and I can send them this link and it's done. But this is my portfolio. We use PebblePad, and you're all used to seeing that. And this is the actual format that the HCPC want the profile to be written in, like this. So that's a profile that's all written down there. So it's not all singing, all dancing, anything like that, but it models off exactly what the HCPC ask the registrants to do. But what we can also do on here, of course, is factor in and add all the evidence as well. So if I look at different types of evidence from this, so one of the things I will do is I work at the John Smith Stadium and at Headingley Stadium as an event commander for the ambulance service. So I have to go on events to keep up to date with things like that. So you can link to the evidence within the profile, and that's what we ask the students to do, to be able to do that as they go through their as they submit their portfolio through their sandwich year. So if I just close that now, we'll go back to there. So one of the things that being able to use actual industrial regulatory standards does for us, and we've mentioned it a couple of times about it's really difficult to mark portfolios because students can do. I wish I could say that our students just run with it and do loads and loads and loads and loads and loads, But the other thing that might happen is the students don't do very much when you ask them to do these things. So the regulatory standards are what we use in our year to be able to put the marking rubric into Canvas. And although the students submit the portfolio through a PebblePad workspace in Atlas, it's marked in Canvas. But it's marked slightly differently, so you can see it's just, have they done this, haven't they done it? And it's pass-fail for each element. And the elements are essentially exactly the same as the HCPC standards that they need to follow for CPD. So you can see there's 1 to 5 about doing a portfolio, it benefiting them, it benefiting the service user, a mixture of learning, and they have to submit it. During the year as well, they have to work nearly 1,000 hours in charge of the ambulance, so they've got to evidence that within the portfolio as well from that point of view. So, and that's quite useful because the students can see, well, if that's how I'm being marked at university, if I can mirror the same thing when I'm a paramedic, I shouldn't have anything to worry about when I graduate, and I'm actually on a professional register to be able to do those things. So Claire's come down today to hopefully give a little bit of a student perspective from that. So there are some questions on here that I thought, I asked our cohort about this, about what they thought about this method of assessment. So first of all, I asked them whether it was clear to them what they had to do. So I don't know what you'd want to say about that, Claire. Do you want to come up? And you can use this microphone because it seems to be quite effective.
So yeah, it was pretty clear that we had to do CPD and that we had to choose a variety of methods to do that.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so by the exemplar, that's mine. You'll be amazed to hear. Was it very good, Claire?
It was very good. It was.
3 hours in the car to get her to say that today.
I wouldn't have known how to lay it all out though. So yes, it definitely helped. Has it helped you learn? Well, yeah. Obviously, you've got to do your CPD, so you're spending that time building more knowledge on certain subjects that may impact on your actual practical skills when you're out working. Gaining more knowledge to give better patient care, I suppose, yeah.
Good.
So, yes.
And lastly then, so Claire graduated last year, so this is the acid test for this assessment, isn't it? It's authentic assessment, so based on we've had 120 graduates, I wouldn't have picked one that hasn't been using it, I don't think. Claire, have you been using it since graduation?
Yes, John, yes, I have.
That's right. Same time next year, Claire.
Fine.
Okay, that's right, very good.
But no, I have genuinely been using it despite my prehistoric opinions of it when we first started, that why can't we just use pen and paper? Why do I have to use online? Why do I have to do this? I do actually use it, so yeah. For many other things as well.
Very good. Okay, that's the end of my grilling, I think, for you there, from that point of view. So it's just really a whistle-stop tour, and I hope that gives an idea of how we've it was really easy for me to write it because I just had to import the standards that we already use in regulation to be able to do that. The students had used PebblePad for 2 years before as a competencies in their practice assessment document. This is a little bit different because they had to build the portfolio themselves. So we had to do some supported sessions on, well, it was Zoom, then Teams, then Big Blue Button, and anything we could use to do that through COVID. But those supported sessions on how to use PebblePad and how to create portfolios, and we get some videos and we get some that look absolutely dynamite. But the essence of it is the students have to be able to get over the line, and so that's why it's pass-fail rather than a graded element of assessment. Okay.
Thanks, John.
All right, thank you.